my universe. Welcome to the Miss Universe Philippines 2021 Interview Challenge. For the past 4 weeks, our official delegates have been feeling your love and support in the headshot, introduction video, runway, and casting video challenges. Today, the top 50 finalists face their last hurdle before making the final 30. Some love it, while others dread it. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be very nerve-wracking for both the delegates and the audience. Joining us today, we have a very distinct group of panelists for the interview challenge. First, we have Miss Universe Philippines National Director and Entrepreneur, Shamsi Supsup Lee. Miss Universe Philippines Style Council Head and Fashion Designer, Albert Andrada. TV Anchor and Resorts World Manila Corporate Communications Director, Joey Gilas. Events and Fashion Show Director, Jackie Aquino. Fashion Show Director and founder of Saga Events, Director Robbie Carmona. We also have with us attorney P.Y. Kwana. Also joining us today are a very important group of people in the Miss Universe Philippines organization. We have Miss Universe Philippines Creative Director, Jonas Gaput, Miss Universe Philippines Business Development and Marketing Head, Mario Garcia, Miss Universe Philippines Head of Legal Affairs, Attorney Nat Bronce, Miss Universe Philippines Head of Women Empowerment, Committee and Charity, Leah Andrea Ramos. Last but not least, someone who knows exactly how everybody else is feeling today, we have the beautiful Miss Universe Philippines 2020, Rabia Mateo. Thank you so much everyone for being here. So now, let's get on with the challenge. Here's how it will work. After I introduce each delegate, they will have 45 seconds to introduce themselves. Then, I will ask each delegate 2 questions. They will have 30 seconds to answer each question before we hear the sound. And a third question will be asked, and it's going to be a uniform question for everybody. Let's not keep the ladies waiting and get this started. Next up, we have Isabelle De Los Santos from Makati City.
Hi, I'm Isabelle De Los Santos. Most people call me Isa, so I'll be using my nickname to introduce myself today. So for interested, I'm always interested to try new things and experiences, which is why I joined Miss Universe Philippines 2021. This is actually my first pageant in my whole entire life. S for Saranghe, I love Korean drama. I started watching last year actually. It has been a black hole since then. And because of my love for them, I learned Basic 1 Korean. A for authentic. So what you see is the real me, and I hope to enjoy this Miss Universe journey being my true authentic self. So that's me, and I'm Isa.
Isa, your first question is, after having no internet for 1 week, you discovered that you had 1,100 emails and can only answer 100 of these. How will you choose which ones to answer?
Okay, so definitely I will use the flagged important emails. So there's an Outlook option, I believe, that we can check and filter it in a way that we can choose the urgent ones or the important ones. So I will definitely do that feature for reading my emails.
If you could change something about yourself, what would it be and why?
If I could change myself. Well, in terms of physicality, I know there are a lot of things to improve on, but I wouldn't want to change anything because, I want young girls to feel beautiful in their own skin, no matter what they are given. I just want young girls to feel inspired and empowered in their own skin. So I don't want to change anything about myself.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
Okay, so the pandemic has challenged me to become a better and more strategic person, especially in the workplace. So as HR, I'm used to face-to-face assessments, interviews, and engagements. And of course, we had to adapt and learn new ways of working. So I had to, shift and pivot my work into the virtual format. So because of that, I became more resourceful and adaptable to the current situation. But yes, definitely everyone can relate that it has been.
Thank you, Isa. And now we have Maria Corazon Abalos of Mandaluyong.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Corazon Abalos. I am 23 years old and I will be representing the city of Mandaluyong. One fun fact about me is that I actually lived in Spain for a year. I was lucky enough to teach English to Spanish children. And while living there, I also learned a lot about myself, and I was able to develop my sense of independence. And I think while living in the Philippines, a lot of you know how sheltered I was. And one of the things that I learned actually while living in Spain is I learned how to cook. But the only thing that I can make are pasta-based dishes, since those are the easy ones to make.
And your first question is, do you think that women who undergo cosmetic surgery to compete in pageants have an unfair advantage over those who do not have any work done?
I don't think that women who have had plastic surgery have an unfair advantage because they did that to feel more beautiful. And why would we feel that? Why would women who haven't undergone anything feel insecure about it when being beautiful comes from the inside, and it is just how we radiate and how we show our confidence that we are beautiful.
At the height of what you think is the best year of your life, you have to decide between two very challenging events: facing financial bankruptcy or getting your heart broken. Which would you choose?
I would rather feel getting my heart broken, because in that way, at least I know that I still have my finances, my financial capability to go on with my life and to feel and to buy the material objects that I need in order to feel the comfort that I need in my heart. Thank you.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
During this pandemic, my family has been through a lot, and one of those things are we lost my grandmother at the start of the year, and we learned a lot from it I personally learned a lot from it because through that I learned that I should cherish my relatives more, my friends and family, because you don't know what can happen. I mean, life is very fleeting, and if we don't cherish every moment and we don't appreciate our close.
Thank you so much, Corinne. Next, we have Isabella Jasmine Umali from Manila.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jacqueline Umali, 25, representing the city of Manila. I have been an artist, a model, an entrepreneur, and a flight attendant. And as a constantly transforming, evolving woman, as of the moment, I am a fighter. I fight for my family, I fight for what is right, and most importantly, I fight for myself. But behind the smiles and the optimism, there is sadness, fear, insecurities, even anger. But I will continue to fight to represent the Philippines in the Miss Universe 2021.
Jazz, your first question is, what is the one quality that a beauty queen should possess?
A beauty queen, first and foremost, should possess compassion. Compassion for others, compassion for those who need help, and for those who need to be inspired. And I think a beauty queen should have the power to inspire and the compassion to really connect to people.
If you had a choice of a panel of judges who would judge Miss Universe Philippines, who would you pick? All female, all male, or all gay men?
I would choose a diverse panel of judges. We should be definitely inclusive with the judges that we choose, and to have different opinions and perspectives. And I think that would be the best way to judge which beauty queen or which one should win.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has challenged me in many, many ways. But most of all, it has challenged my mental health. It has been hard, not just for me, for everyone to keep a positive outlook, not a positive COVID test. But yeah, definitely mental health. It's hard to be happy every time, but it's always okay to feel sad or feel down when you are.
Thank you very much, Jazz. And now we have Simone Nadine Bornelia from Marinduque.
Hello everyone. So a few things about me that aren't typically on paper is that I've actually done ballet, musical theater, and choral competitions when I was younger. I'm also raised by two gay men, so you can just imagine how ecstatic they are, knowing that their only daughter is very much interested in pageantry. And I also have a pageant sister actually in India, and she's also vying for her country's crown. So we're really, really hoping to see each other again on the international stage.
Your first question is, do you think that today's youth are facing greater pressure than previous generations? If so, in what way?
I think that today's youth is definitely experiencing much more pressure compared to other generations, especially with the advancement of social media, of technology, in like overall. Because we're more exposed to the ideal standards that society put up as to how a person should be, and that's why I think that it's more difficult right now for us.
Who do you think is the most influential Filipino today?
I think that the most influential Filipino today is I still think it's Miss Pia Wurtzbach. Of course, I remember how she competed and she was very much persevering through it all. And I think that that's something that I really admire. It's something that every young girl admires from her. She taught me a lesson that I could apply in my everyday life, and that's to never give up on something that you really want.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
I think that the pandemic has definitely challenged everyone because it changed the way that we live our everyday lives. And so although it may have been challenging, I think that it's also refreshing because it gave us a new perspective as to how we can go about doing things.
Thank you, Nadine. And now we have Chella Grace Falconer from Misamis Oriental.
Hey, I'm Chella. I'm 22 years old and I grew up in the province. I started working as a model at the age of 14. Facts about me, I am a huge science geek. I love studying the stars, their magnitude, their intensity, and my favorite star is Polaris, and also from another galaxy, Andromeda, it's Betelgeuse. I so love science, and also I think that I'm funny, or at least I think I am. And also I am very passionate, I'm very caring, forgiving, and when I was younger I wanted to be a doctor, but then later on I realized I'm actually afraid of blood. So right now my interest lies in studying law.
How has failure helped you in your achievements?
I believe that everyone goes through failure, and as me, I've been through so many failures in my life, and I think the one thing that it has taught me in my achievements becomes sweeter. The success becomes sweeter when you have failed so many times, because along the way, I do not think that there is a type of failure. I think the only failure is that when you experience something, you do not learn from that experience. I do not think that there is failure when you do achieve success, because success becomes sweeter whenever you have so many struggles along the way.
Do you think beauty pageants will still exist 50 years from now?
Especially in the Philippines, I do think that even 50 years from now, there will still be pageants, because pageants is a celebration of our culture. And as beauty queens, we have so much to prosper about, and we have so much to say about pageants. We have so much to think about, and it is a celebration of beauty across all nations. And I think that even 50 years from now, we will still be able to celebrate pageants.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has challenged me in a way that when you're isolated, you think about so many thoughts, and sometimes it becomes a danger to your mental health. And when you're alone, you do not have the physical touch, you do not have the things that you used to do when it was normal. And I think that it is a danger for so many people, because a lot of us, when we are alone, we think about so many things that endanger us. And I think that the pandemic in a way has motivated us to become someone better.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kirsten Daniel Delavigne from Masbate.
Hello, good evening. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kirsten Daniel Delavigne, and my nickname is Kisses. I am from Masbate City, and the story that I want to tell you is that I am a miracle baby. My mother and father had 8 pregnancies, and I was the only one who survived. And when I was 6 years old, I suffered from a viral encephalitis with only 5% chance of living, and I survived. I think that the universe has been very kind to me, and I think that it's my job to give back that kindness. Thank you.
Your first question is, some people say that pageants foster stereotypes. What would you tell them?
Mr. Voltaire, I think that belief is in itself a stereotype. There is no good thing or bad thing, it's how you think about it. And actually, joining a beauty pageant and being your truest self, that is the best way to break that stereotype. It's all in the mind. It's about expressing yourself and being truly who you are. Thank you.
According to Shakespeare, the eyes are the windows to the soul. What would people see if they looked into your eyes?
Mr. Walter, I absolutely love that quote, and I think that the eyes are the first thing I see when I look at someone. And in my eyes, people can see that I am ready for this. I think of the Miss Universe job as something that I was born to do, and that I will be putting my whole heart into it. Thank you so much.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
Mr. Walter, I think that being away from my work, which is in showbiz, I get to be with people every day in show business and make them smile. So 1.5 years of not being able to do that has been very sad. But I was able to recalibrate and remember who I was with, who I inspired before I even came to showbiz. And I think it's very important to really recenter.
Thank you very much, Business. Next up, we have Angela Nikki De Grano from Negros Occidental.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Angela Nikki De Grano from Negros Occidental. I am a middle child and a certified lawless girl. My friends used to call me Jack of all trades, master of none, but I'm not so sure if that's a good thing. However, I am someone who loves to learn new things, that's why. But then sometimes I tend not to master it. And I'm someone who freely expresses herself in the form of arts, may it be dancing, singing, photography, videography. And in fact, when I was a kid, I used to sell my drawings to my classmates for about 5 to 10 pesos. My life verse is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Please describe your hometown to someone who has never visited it.
Negros Occidental is very rich and abundant in terms of natural resources. We have beaches, we have great food, we have very sweet people. That's why we are called the land of sweet surprises.
As a woman, would you ever ask a guy out for a date?
I believe asking someone to go out for a date is regardless of gender. It doesn't define you. And who invented that it should be a man who should ask you out for a date? I believe that now we're in 2021 and we should be more open into changes.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic is indeed very challenging to everyone. It's a tough time and we all have been through different kind of hardships. And me personally, I believe the feeling of being isolated and not being able to know the uncertainties that's coming our way, I think that is the most challenging part.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Walter.
Next up, we have Grace Charmaine Banwa Vendiola from Negros Oriental.
Hi everyone, I am Grace Charmaine Vendiola, 26 years old, from the beautiful province of Negros Oriental. I'm a former international flight attendant, and the funny thing there is, not everybody may know, but I actually have motion sickness, so it's kind of struggle. And then my cousin told me once that I'm kind of extra in the kitchen because I could make really good food out of scratch. And also, whenever I feel like having a coconut juice, it's not a struggle for me because I myself know how to grind a coconut. So that may have sounded so simple and shallow for others maybe, but those amazing experiences made my provincial life full of fun and excitement.
If your future husband made you choose between him or your career, who would you choose and why?
He's my husband by that time already. I think I would take into considerations, and if he's my husband, I'm sure he loves me and he would try to listen to me, so maybe we could talk about it again and maybe I'd be able to convince again. Love should win.
If you were given 1 hour a day to do anything you wanted, what would you do?
I would love to try each and everything, or maybe travel the entire country because I've only been to 48 countries and there's still so many countries that I want to visit. And I know that's outrageous, but I would want to do that country hopping.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
So much. It challenged me so much because I used to be the outgoing person. I love traveling so much and be with people. I'm very clingy, so hugging is like part of my everyday life. And now you have to put extra barrier when you're facing everybody. So it's kind of difficult, but yeah, hanging in.
Thank you so much. Now we have Micah Cabling Martinez from Nueva Ecija.
Last afternoon to everyone. Micah Cabling Martinez here from the Rice Granny of the Philippines, Nueva Ecija. I enjoy performing, especially dancing and playing the saxophone. As an scholar ng bayan, I really love to study even after graduation. Things that excites me are sale, buy one, take one, piece of fares because I really love to travel. Fashion is also my way of expressing myself, and most of my clothes are from UK. Not United Kingdom, but I'm a certified UK fashionista. I also love to play sports, and I want to share something. When I was starting as a basketball varsity, the first shot I took was at the opponent's ring. So those are just a few fun facts about me.
Micah, if you could visit any place in the world next month, where would you go and who would you bring with you?
Actually, I want to visit Cabanatuan City, where I am right now. I want to go to the street kids of Cabanatuan City because I've celebrated so many occasions with them. And right now, as Miss Universe candidate, I want to celebrate with them.
Messaging apps have gained widespread use for both work and personal use. What do you think are the disadvantages of having this technology?
The disadvantages of having this technology is when we don't use it wisely. This technology are here for us to benefit. But if we use it to spread negativity and hate, that's the most negative thing to use such amazing technology.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
This pandemic was really challenging. My family lost our business, and also I lost my grandfather during these very trying times. And it's really remembering that it is important to love, to listen, to care, to respect, and most especially to help others.
Thank you, Micah. Now we have Misty Miles Jude Zaragoza from Leyte Province.
Hi everyone, I am Misty Miles Jude Astillero Zaragoza. You can call me Misty. Misty with no vowels, Misty with the Y's. And I am a physical education major. Actually, I've joined several dance competitions in my school. And I also like to cook. I'd like you to try my famous sinuglaw. It's sinugba and kinilaw. Ayun. And I also love to do gardening. This is something that I have developed over the pandemic. And I love to watch musicals. This is something that my sister and me love to do together.
Misty, if you could be great at a talent that you do not possess, what would it be and why?
Oh, that would be singing. Because singing, whenever you're in parties, whenever you're in social occasions, you can just sing and then people will be praising you. It's not like dancing wherein you have to really be on stage. So it would be singing for me.
If you found yourself alone in an alien planet, what would you tell the aliens about humans?
It would be that we are very resilient people. If there's one thing the aliens should know about us, it would be that we could conquer anything there is in our way, and that we could do anything given that we are all intellectual beings.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
A lot. I have been challenged a lot all throughout the pandemic. I've gone through a lot, and it was one thing would be my mental health, because I've always been an outside person. I like to travel, and when the pandemic came, I found myself questioning as to who I really am. But then I found my purpose. I am a teacher, and I will be a teacher.
Thank you, Misty.
Thank you.
Next, we have Angelica Arwin Camo Evora from Oriental Mindoro.
Hello everyone, I'm Angelica Arwin Camo Evora, but you can call me Jelai from Oriental Mindoro, a criminology student. I am a proud online seller. I sell clothes and different items for women. Before the lockdown, I used to be a pageant contestera because I love joining pageants. Basta may fiesta sa barangay, nandun po ako. Aside from the fact that pageant is my passion, this is also my way of improving myself and helping my parents to pay my tuition fee. O diba? Nakarampa ka na, nagkapera ka pa. I am really excited to be here because I joined here with the high hope of being the first Migorena to win the crown and to show to everyone that a barangay queen like me can also be a national or even an international winner.
Jalai, what is something that you've done in the past that you will never do again?
Well, back in my days po, that I call my big pageants here in our province, I used to end up always being the first runner-up. I don't know why. Well, that made me feel like a second option. And I think that's something that I want to change in my past. But I realized that as of now that who would have thought that the first runner-up would actually be the representative of Oriental Mindoro in the Miss Universe Philippines. Like, wow.
Would you rather be president or the first lady of the Philippines?
Well, I would rather be the president because I am a woman with my own decisions. And I know that as a woman, we have that kind of leadership in us. We have that decision making that we want to say to other people. And I think that with my leadership that I have, I can be a good president to our beautiful Philippines.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Well, with all of the saddest thing that we have experienced for the past years, I know that we are all surprised. Well, the pandemic challenged me in a way that how to adjust. But it also helped me to be flexible with all of the things that we are experiencing. And I think that we should just focus on the things that we are experiencing right now because we are living in the pandemic. We should accept it and be flexible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
And now, we have Maureen Krista Robowitz from Pangasinan.
Hi everyone, I'm Maureen Krista Robowitz. I'm 23, representing Pangasinan. I describe myself as a third culture kid because I was born and raised in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to a German dad and a Filipina mom. From a very young age, I've been very aware of different cultures and religions, which helped my cultural sensitivity, but gave me a lot of stories to tell. According to my friends, my favorite way to start a sentence is in Germany, in the Philippines, and Saudi Arabia, because I've lived in all those places. Some people may perceive me as shy, but once I start talking, especially if it's something that I'm passionate about, like acting, makeup, travel, there is no end.
So Mao, how would you describe your beauty to a blind person?
I would say that the beauty from the outside is not as important. What is more important is the beauty from the outside. And my beauty is I am kind despite my bad experiences in life. I've experienced so many things, but I wouldn't want anyone else to experience that.
It is often said that high risk equals high reward. What have you risked in pursuit to become Miss Universe Philippines?
I have risked my mental health. I've had a lot of struggles with my mental health, but I know that this journey will make it all worth it. I know that despite my struggles, I'll be able to overcome this.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has challenged me in a way that I have gotten so comfortable being an introvert. So this one is another challenge, getting out of my comfort zone again. And really utilizing my platform to inspire so many.
Thank you very much, Maureen. Next up, we have Maria Ingrid Teresita Santa Maria from Parañaque.
My name is Ingrid Santa Maria, but I also go by Sam. I'm a 25-year-old corporate professional, and I graduated cum laude with a degree in communications at De La Salle University. I come from a big family, so I was always raised to be sociable at a young age. And I think that's where my love for community started. I also love to travel and explore new cultures. I love the sun and the sea, and the beach is my happy place. I've played many roles in my life. I've been a leader, an athlete, and a writer. I've worked in marketing, PR, and e-commerce, and now I find myself in the world of pageantry. I'm somebody who faces challenges head-on, and this journey marks the beginning of my transformation into a phenomenal woman.
If you were asked to give a speech to a group of graduating students who missed school physically and events like the prom and graduation, what is your message to them?
These are times that are very unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm glad that you pushed past boundaries. Learning online is very difficult, and as long as you keep on working hard and keep continuing to do your passions, then your dreams will become a reality. So I'm proud of everything that you've gone through, and more power to all of you.
Social media networks are intended to bring people closer together. But in many dining situations, people are more busy on their phones. How do you resolve these conflicting realities?
Well, social media is like a double-edged sword. I find that although it does allow you to have communication, especially with people far away from you, sometimes it hinders us from being present in the moment. In my opinion, it is just better to put your phone down when you're enjoying a nice meal with your friends and just be there in the moment. There's nothing wrong with being online, but being present is something that it's like a gift that you can offer.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Well, being stuck alone in this pandemic, I really had to learn to look inward. I've had to learn to love myself and to fully take care of myself. And it's allowed me to become in tune with my passions and hobbies. And I've even written down some goals and plans for the future. And these things were things that I just enjoyed from the day to day. But now, I am a woman who does this in seconds.
Thank you very much. Now we have Princess Krista Singh from Pasig.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Princess. I am from the city where the most handsome mayor lives, Pasig City. I am half Indian, half Filipino. And when I was younger, I used to have a lot of hair. Thanks to my Indian genes, I have thick brows and long lashes. I am also a dancer, which helped me finish college through scholarships. I am a member of a folk dance company that partners with Department of Tourism and Tourism's Promotion Board in highlighting the culture of the Philippines all over the world. Right now, I am selling danggit, dried fish from Cebu for a living. And well, actually, the last performance we had was in Amsterdam and in Paris. And in Paris, in front of the Eiffel Tower, I got engaged.
So Princess, your first question is, what is your phobia and have you conquered it?
My greatest fear would be losing someone I love. I believe that it's our fear. It's one of the fears of a lot of people, and we can't really be prepared for it. But I know that together with dealing with meeting them and trying to have memories with them, we will.
What is the legacy you would like to leave in this world?
The legacy that I would like to live in this world is to be an inspiration to everyone. I would like to be remembered as someone who is helping other people and someone who is an inspiration to a lot of people.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Well, being the breadwinner of the family, this pandemic, the most challenging part for me is earning for the family and sending my sister to school. Right now, I was actually a flight attendant that turned into having an online business which selling danggits for a living. So I think that resiliency leads us. This is the major takeaway in this pandemic. And I believe that together we can survive everything.
Thank you, Princess. Next up, we have Patricia Samantha Go from Quezon City.
Hi everyone, I'm Patricia Go from Quezon City. There are so many fun facts about me. So when I was a kid, I was given two options, either modeling or dancing workshop. And obviously I chose modeling. That's how my career started, and now it led me to the Miss Universe Philippines journey. And then for the next I still dance though. I would dance to Ariana Grande songs because she's my favorite. And I would dance as if I'm just thinking for my life. And for 19 years, I've been an only child. And now I can finally say I am a...
Your first question is, if you can only eat one food every day for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Sinigang, because that's my favorite ever since I was a kid. My favorite is sinigang na baboy.
If pageants are all about being your authentic self, why is pageant coaching still necessary when you can just be yourself?
Well, yes, I can be myself, but the important thing right now is that there is someone who is guiding me. They are experts in pageantry, and I myself, this is my first time in beauty pageants, and I look forward to working with them as well.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Well, the pandemic has challenged me on my job because it's my job. I got retrenched for my job. I in Cebu Pacific. I was a flight attendant for 3 years, and it saddens me, but I still got back up. I got my way out there. I risked and I opened up a business, and I have my new career now, which is in real estate, and I did not expect.
Thank you so much, Pat. Next up, we have Jan Luisa Bejero from Reina Mercedes Isabela.
Hi, I'm Jan. You can call me by that name. And I am a Christian, and I am an artist by heart. I believe that I am born to create. Growing up, my parents wouldn't allow me to go out of our homes to play outside, but I believe it actually allowed me to tap into another world, another realm, which is to create beautiful things. And I am also a person who believes that my mission in life is to be a life giver, and I would want to make a difference wherever I go.
What is the biggest disappointment you've experienced in life, and how did you overcome it?
Honestly, my greatest disappointment in life is regret. There have been a lot of things in the past which I hope I tried, but I didn't have the confidence to. And so joining this pageant is actually a huge thing for me. I wanted to make the most out of the life that I have been given, and I want to achieve my dream.
Some pageants have chosen to remove the swimsuit competition. Are you in favor or against their decision to do so?
I believe the mechanics will always depend on what the pageant is, but personally, I have nothing against including the swimsuit competition in a beauty pageant. If I could wear a swimsuit when I go to the beach, then why not wear it in a competition?
How has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has challenged me in a lot of ways, whether it be through my mental and emotional and in the way I see things. But if there's one thing that I would take away from this situation is that I should always keep in mind what my priorities in life are, and that is to love the people that I care about and to take care of myself and other people as well.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Jane Nicole Mignano from Romblon.
Hello everyone, I'm Jane Nicole Mignano, 21 years old, representing province of Romblon. As of the moment, people know me as someone who joined pageants. But behind all those flashing cameras, I'm actually a simple person. I grew up in the province of Romblon, and I was raised in a household that is full of love and kind of conservative. And that makes me a reserved person. But as I moved here in the city, I was able to venture out on things beyond my comfort zone. That's why I'm trying my luck here in the Miss Universe Philippines stage.
What's the best gift you ever gave to someone?
The best gift that I gave to someone is a gift that I gave to my mom. I gave her a smile on her face because when I started my journey here in the Miss Universe Philippines stage, she was the one who pushed me to try. And when I see her, as I reach the top 50, she's very happy, and that smile on her face makes me overwhelmed.
Aside from your relatives, which Filipina do you admire most and why?
The Filipina that I admire the most right now is Tia Wurtzbach because she's really an epitome of inspiration to other women. She always tried her best and did her journey in the Miss Universe stage, and that is something inspiring because she gave her best. She proves that she can, and I want to be just like her.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
During the pandemic, I was really, really sad because everything was put in pause. And what I've learned about this is that I have to live this and value the balance between work and at the same time self-care because we are in a pandemic. I have to progress without becoming an empty cup. And by doing that, I have to learn to allot time for me to work and to grind and also to relax. Because at the end of the day,
Thank you so much, Jane. Now we have Roseanne Marie Bernos from San Juan.
Hi everyone, my name is Rosane Marie Bernos and I'm the first daughter, first granddaughter, and first niece in both sides of my family. So no pressure, but growing up I had to do a lot of trial and error trying to figure out what I wanted to be. So in the last 10 years, I have been an interior design major, English major, working student, writer, freelancer, content creator, entrepreneur, English teacher in Spain, and now also a beauty queen. So I like to think that I'm more than just a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm also a very determined person with a lot of good stories to tell. It's nice to meet you.
Your first question is, digital addiction can refer to phone, internet, or social media addiction. How would you intervene if you feel that one of your friends has digital addiction?
I would probably become an accountability partner for her. Perhaps maybe I could check in at night, maybe at 10 p.m. I'll say, hey, it's time to stop. Let's go to bed, girl. And let's just go have some peace of mind.
Is it important to do the right thing or avoid doing the wrong thing?
I think it's important. It's more important to do the right thing because there is such an importance in being proactive about how we go about life. So it's all about being mindful of what impact we have on other people.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has made me realize how fast and short life is and how helpless we can be if the basics are taken away from us. And so I really learned to value the people in my life, care for them better, and connect with them better, for sure.
Thank you very much, Hein.
Thank you, everyone. That was so fun. Thank you.
Now we have Janela Marie Ventura from San Rafael, Bulacan.
Hey, it's me, Janela Marie C. Ventura, representing San Rafael, Bulacan. I am a reader, a singer, and a self-published author. Something unique about me, I think, is the fact that I don't eat fruit salad and ube. Another thing is I don't sleep with any pillow on my head. Something funny about my childhood was when I was riding a bike in kindergarten and I saw a truck coming by, so I went so fast, I panicked, and seconds later, I found myself lying on the ground while my face pressed on a dog poop.
Janela, what quality does a woman possess that sets them apart from men?
A quality that sets apart women from men is their heart. Because psychologically speaking, we are very sensitive, and I think in that way we could connect to more people. We could reach across places that we need to visit and recognize.
What act of kindness have you been able to do in the past week?
The act of kindness that I was able to do the past week was just to talk to people. I am a communications student, and I was able to reach out to the students, to my loved ones, to communicate with me, and in that way, we bonded and we made a stronger foundation in our friendship and love.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
It challenged me very much. Maintaining a positive outlook during this pandemic is such a challenge. But however, I found time to rise above, and it somehow showed that I am a phenomenal woman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we have Michelle Angela Navarro Ocon from Siargao Island, Surigao del Norte.
Hi, please call me Michelle. I'm 20 years old and I'm representing Siargao Island. And I'm actually the first representative to wear their name on my sash in a national pageant. And just a fun fact about me, I like to sew. So during the pandemic, it was really hard to get hold of fabric. So what I did was I went through my closet and started upworking my own clothes. And I noticed that a lot of small businesses have been doing so. So a lot of my clothes now are made by local shops or made by me.
Michelle, what is the biggest challenge do young women face in today's world?
With the emergence of social media, I believe that one of the biggest challenges we face are the challenges we face when it comes to loving ourselves. Because I myself, when I was younger, I struggled with body image because of what we see on social media. But through this, I got to overcome it because I realized that we don't need other people's validation to measure our worth.
Some people describe millennials and Gen Z as an entitled generation. How would you tell them that this is not true?
This isn't true because it's just that we like keeping ourselves more aware and we like utilizing the resources we have now and the platforms available to us today. So a lot of us are just really woke and very informed about the current issues, and we would like to spread that some information isn't true and some people just think otherwise.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
During the pandemic, I really lost a lot of friends because we lost communication with one another. However, I got to overcome this feeling of loneliness because I also got to meet a lot of people online. And I guess that's one of the good things about social media. We get to meet a lot of people, but we just really have to know the pros and cons and get to know them better.
Thank you, Michelle. Next up, we have Nephilim Dapuno from Tacloban City.
Hi, I'm Nephilim Dacuno, but you may also call me Aika. Many already know that I love history and art, but another interesting fact about me is the unique story behind my name. I come from a family of engineers who specialize in rocks and minerals. So my parents named me and my sisters after, you guessed it, rocks and minerals. Nephilim is a rock that you often find in glass making, and Ica is an abbreviation of silica, a component you find in sand. Put two and two together, and that makes me.
So Aika, what would you give up for love?
I think I would give up. I think I would give up a little bit of my time because I know that I do many things as a modern woman. So if I sacrifice my time for the love of my life, then I think we'd be on our way to a good relationship.
What is your best non-physical asset?
A lot of people tell me that my best non-physical aspect is my brain because I was trained to be a humanities student. I was taught that I know a little bit of everything, but a lot about something. So I think that's one of my best assets.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
I experienced loss during the first wave of the pandemic, but it really taught me that this virus does not discriminate. It challenged me because even people who follow, who do good, also pay the price. But at the end of the day, if we put common humanity, still, even when they're at risk, I learned that it's okay. We're all gonna get through with this together.
Thank you, Aika. Now we have Katrina Di Maranan from Taguig.
Hi everyone. So I've been to 3 Justin Biebers by myself concerts, and one, he looked straight into my eyes while he was singing. Talagang kinilig ako kasi you know what? I knew we had a moment. And everyone knows I hate spicy food, but for some weird reason, I still carry it in my bag because I just really like the taste of it. Tapatio lang. And I know this sounds super gross, but watching Dr. Pimple Popper is so satisfying for me. Now, call me spontaneous because I stayed at one of the most haunted hotels in California, and it was so creepy because the volume of the TV kept going up and down the whole night. It was so scary. And during the pandemic, I learned how to make kare-kare, and it was so delicious that all I...
Your first question, Katrina, is, in today's world, someone or some group often claims to be offended by something. Do you think that the world has become too politically correct and too sensitive?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. I don't think that the world has become politically correct. I think that what's going on right now is the cancel culture that we need to get rid of. I feel like that is a modern day of bullying, and I also feel that we need to stop cancel culture because it's as if we're judging people based off of what their opinions are. If it's opposing to ours, all of a sudden it feels like it's wrong. And cancel culture needs to disappear because it's as if we lost empathy for the people.
The Philippines and the Vatican are the only 2 sovereign states that prohibit divorce. Are you in favor or against legalizing divorce in the Philippines?
I have been asked this when I was 18, and I still stand by what I think from before versus now, which is as much as we want to stay committed to the person that we marry, we can't always decide whether or not they want to stay together. I know that married people stay together and try to work it out, but at the same time, we need to respect if they are no longer in love or if they choose better things that's better for their families and their children.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
It's challenged me in multiple ways. I mean, from having to go to school full time and working full time while trying to support my family, having to focus on school and from home, it teaches us responsibility and accountability because we need to be more focused. And aside from that, I've had to deal from being away from my family and not being able to see them. And it's been very hard, but social media has been such an advantage for me because I can communicate with my family all over the world.
Thank you very much, Katrina.
Thank you.
And now we have Cristiana Afia Adorable Villaboa from Valenzuela.
Hi everyone, it's Sophia, 24 years old, your Filipino Ghanaian bet for this year's Miss Universe Philippines. One thing about me is that I love watching crime documentaries because I love finding out people's motives. And siguro iisip ng iba na chismosa ako kasi nanonood ako ng ganon. Pero hindi. I just love finding out why people do the things that they do. I love solving problems and I just love bothering myself, you know?
What is one thing that you were told that you could not do, but you did it anyway?
One thing that people often say is that I am not confident. Probably it's because for a long time I was subjected to lack of representation in media. But here I am now, I'm in Miss Universe Philippines, and that alone is a significant reflection of my confidence.
If you were to give a talk to 100 teenage girls, what topic would you want to discuss with them and why?
The topic that I want to discuss with teenage girls would probably be bringing out the confidence in you and being you, accepting yourself, because I think we're living in a very superficial world and it's really hard to find yourself. And I want to figure out things with these girls because I know I won't only teach them things, I'll also learn from them.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
The pandemic has challenged me when it comes to expressing my love to people. My love language is actually physical touch, so it was really hard for me, but we are adaptable and I learned to adapt and make use of the digital world in order to connect with them and to express how much I love and appreciate them for being there for me.
Thank you, Fia. Last but not least, we have Joanna Marie Rabe from Zambales.
Hello everyone, I'm Joanna Marie Rabe, 26 years old. I was born and raised in Zambales and I am the very first representative of my province in Miss Universe Philippines. I used to work in an integrated resort as a supervisor and I'm currently working as a streamer, and I named myself as Jojo Wannabe because I want to be a lot of things. I want to be a singer, I want to be a dancer, and in fact when I was in college, I used to be a performer even though my body is harder than a steel. And I work hard for that because it helps me to sustain my education.
Joanna, what important life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Important life lesson that I have learned in a very hard way is to be a hardworking person because I experienced poverty in my life ever since I was a child. And it was very hard for me because I experienced hunger as well. And that is very hard for a child to experience that.
What would you say to disheartened Filipinos who want to leave the country and migrate to other countries at any cost?
I would say to them that I understand that it's very hard, especially in this time of pandemic, but we should not lose hope in our country because the people are the one that can make our country for the betterment of our future. So don't leave because you are the hope of our future.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
I lost my job. I got retrenched from my company. And it was very hard for me because I am the provider of my family. But I never lose hope. I was able to find a job and support my family in this time of pandemic.
Thank you very much, Joanna.
Thank you, Sir Voltaire. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow, that was such an impressive and inspiring group of delegates. The panelists are really going to have a tough time narrowing them down from 50 to the final 30.